Welcome to this video tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to sew this oversized shirt called Freddy. As you've already seen in the introduction, there are two lengths, one regular length and one long length. The long length is long enough to cover your butt. Then there are two sleeve lengths, a long sleeve length and a short sleeve length. The sleeve is generally quite wide, but I think it's still practical enough for everyday wear. Regarding the difficulty, this shirt is very simple to make. Maybe the neckband is a bit tricky, but you can definitely do it even as a beginner. And as always, I'm showing every step in detail, so should absolutely be doable. I'm sewing this shirt with my overlocker and my regular sewing machine. An overlocker is not required. You can only use your regular sewing machine and set it to a small zigzag stitch. And if your fabric is prone to fraying, you can finish the seams with a large zigzag stitch. I would always recommend to make a test seam and see whether the stitching is even and the seam is not becoming wavy. To figure out your size, simply take your bust and also your hip measurement and compare it with the body measurement chart. It is in the article photos but also in the written instructions. Then you can see in which size letters you fall, and if you fall into different sizes at the bust and hips, you can simply jump between the sizes along the side seam. I myself always have to do this, and it's really simple. In the written instructions under pattern modification, you can find a little sketch how to adjust the pattern if you have different sizes at the bust and hips. In the written instructions, you can find the finished measurement chart. There you can see the final measurements of this shirt, the bust and also the hip and the length measurements. You can compare these with the shirt that you already own to see how will the fit be. It is very oversized. If you don't want it to be this large, you can always size down 1 to 2 sizes. I wouldn't recommend sizing down more than 2 sizes because the overall fit and appearance will look off if you size down too much. To make this shirt, you will of course need fabric, and my number one recommendation is French terry or cotton jersey. Both fabrics are a bit sturdy and give a cool look, but you can also use fabrics that are more lightweight and flowing, such as viscose knit or bamboo knits. If you want to make a thick sweater for winter, for example, you can use a brushed jogging fabric, but there are many different knitted fabrics that are also suitable, such as like waffle knits, rib knits, or whatever knit you can imagine. But again, my number one recommendation is cotton knit and French terry. For the neckband, you will need a stretchy fabric like ribbing. Personally, I have used ribbing for all of my shirts because I like the look of it. If your fabric is stretchy like cotton knit or viscose knit or anything else, you can also use your main fabric for the ribbing for the neckband. But if you're using French terry or a brushed jogging fabric, it's not stretchy enough to work as a neckband, and in this case you will definitely need ribbing fabric. Apart from that, you will only need matching thread and maybe a stretch twin needle for the hem. Personally, I like to use a zigzag stitch to hem, but if you hem with a twin needle, it will definitely look more professional. As always, here is an overview of all the pieces that you will need. You will need one front, one back, 2 sleeves, either the long one or the short one, and 1 neckband. Transfer all the markings to your fabric with a little notch no longer than ½ centimeter, and also mark the center front and center back at the neckline with little notches. Now we start with the shoulders, therefore grab the front and back piece and place them with right fabric sides facing, and then pin the shoulders together. Now we sew across the shoulders with a 1 centimeter seam allowance. I'm using my overlocker. If you don't have an overlocker, you can use your regular sewing machine and any stretchy stitch like a small zigzag stitch. And if your fabric is prone to fraying, you can finish the seam with a large zigzag stitch. Open the shirt up flat so that the right fabric side is facing up, and here you can see the armhole. Now grab your sleeve You will find a marking at the sleeve head, at the side of the sleeve, and also at the front armhole. This way you can distinguish between the right and the left sleeve. Now place the sleeve onto the shirt with the right side of both the sleeve and the shirt facing each other, and then pin the sleeve into the armhole. First match up the marking at the top of the sleeve head with your shoulder seam, then match up the marking at the side of your sleeve head with your front armhole marking, and then pin right between those markings, and lastly pin the sleeve into the back armhole as well. Once you have pinned one sleeve into the armhole, repeat this step with the other sleeve as well. And this is what it should look like. Now we sew the sleeve in with a 1 cm seam allowance. Here I'm using my overlocker again. If you don't have one, you can simply use a small zigzag stitch instead. And if your fabric is prone to fraying, finish it with a large zigzag stitch. That's what it should look like, and if you now place your shirt correctly, you can see that it almost looks like a finished shirt with the sides being still open. To close the side and sleeve seam, turn the shirt wrong side out so that the right fabric sides are facing. You know you have placed it correctly if you can see the seam and seam allowance of your sleeve seam and your shoulder seam. And now we pin all the way down, starting at the sleeve hem down to the bodice hem, and we match up the sleeve seam. Repeat this step on both sides, and then it's time to stitch. I'm sewing all the way down, starting at my sleeve hem down to the bodice hem, and as always I'm sewing with a 1 cm seam allowance. This is what the seam should look like, and if you turn everything right side out, that's what it should look like. Fold the neckband in half so you can mark the center front with little notches no longer than half a centimeter. Then pin along the short sides to create a tube, and here the right fabric sides should be facing each other on the inside. Next, sew with a 1 cm seam allowance, and I like to use a regular straight stitch here to avoid bulk. And that's what it should look like. We have created a tube. And to mark the quarters as well, we will now place the seam right onto our front marking, so we can mark the quarters with little notches. Now fold your neckband lengthwise, wrong fabric sides facing all the way around, and pin it in place roughly. You are pinning 2 layers of fabric together. The right fabric side is facing out and the raw edges lay flush. Now grab your shirt and pin the center front and center back marking at the neckline together. Now you can mark the quarters on the neckline with little notches as well. Now pin the neckband to the neckline, right fabric sides facing. The seam of the neckband meets the center back, and then all quarter markings should meet. I will start at the front and pin the markings together. Then I will search for the next marking and pin those together. As you can see, the neckline is longer than the neckband, which is normal. Simply stretch it and then hold it with 2 fingers right in between and place a pin here. Then look for the next quarter markings and place them together and repeat these steps all the way around. As I mentioned before, the neckline is longer than the neckband, which is normal. When we are sewing it on, we will stretch the neckband to match the size of the neckline. We are pinning 3 layers of fabric together here all the way around, and all cut or raw edges should be laying flush. That's what it should look like. We will now sew the neckband all the way around to the neckline. Now it's time to stitch. I would usually use my overlocker here, but I find it easier to show the process on my regular sewing machine. I'm sewing with a small zigzag stitch and a 1 cm seam allowance, and as you can see, as I go, I gently stretch the neckband to the size of the neckline, and I would recommend to go very slowly here and always double check if the neckline is still there, because it's quite prone to slip away. Simply go all the way around and stretch as you go. Sometimes I find it helpful to pull at the front and also at the back very gently to help the sewing machine transport the fabric. That's what it should look like, and now I have to finish the seam. Now press the neckband nice and flat. It really makes a difference. If you want, you can now top stitch the seam allowance to the shirt all the way around at the neckline with like 0.5 centimeter distance from your seam. Therefore, you will need a stretchy stitch, and personally I don't think a zigzag stitch looks good here, so I would recommend to use a stretch twin needle. Now it's time to hem. The shirt includes 2 centimeters of hem allowance at the sleeve and bodice hem. I would recommend to try on the shirt now and see whether the length is good for you. If you want, you can now easily trim any excess length. Personally, I like to trim the sleeves by 1.5 centimeters. Next, finish the raw edges along the bodice and sleeve hem if your fabric is prone to fraying. And now fold the hem 2 centimeters inward and pin it in place all the way around at the bodice hem, but also the sleeve hems. That's what it should look like at the sleeve and like this at the bodice. And now it's time to stitch. I'm sewing with a 1.5 centimeter seam allowance. I'm using my regular sewing machine and a small zigzag stitch. For me personally, it is sufficient with a small zigzag stitch, but if you want it to look professional, I would recommend a stretch twin needle. I would recommend to check your sewing machine manual how to sew with a twin needle on your sewing machine. If I use a twin needle, I usually sew with a stitch length of 4. I raise the upper thread tension, and if you can, lower the pressure of your presser foot. Now it's time to sew along the sleeve hem. Here I'm using a 1.5 centimeter seam allowance again, and I'm sewing with a small zigzag stitch. And last but not least, for a nice and clean finish, I'm giving my hems a good press.